Say, man, if you tuned in right now and you rock with that boy Oddball, stop the violence, bruh. First thing first, we don't start no video without paying respect to that squad. Notification gang, check. What we lit then. What's popping? Odd fam, Oddball checking in here. And today we have a lot to discuss. Now let's jump right into it. First off, salute notification gang, hitting that like button. Please start y'all a real Odd fam salute. Anyway, up first, we got that boy Chris P. And we got that boy Funny Mike, aka 22 Savage. Okay, so around earlier last year, bro, Chris P had the internet going bonkers when he got possession of Funny Mike chain. Situation pretty much ruled the headlines for a few weeks, dog. Y'all know how the internet works. They love some goddamn fuckery. After a few weeks of back and forth between that boy Funny Mike and Chris P, people pretty much moved on, dog. And just like I stated in the previous video, bro, both of these guys moved on from the situation as well, dog. Funny Mike out here doing what he does now, and Chris P went on to continue to build off his buzz and establish himself as an artist, first and foremost, more than a person that just had possession of Funny Mike chain. Chris was really grinding, bro, and outside just his area, more and more people started to respect what he brought to the table as an artist. He was continuing to build on that, and that's exactly why he had a show Friday night. But sadly, he got killed. After Chris left the club, a vehicle in front and behind him pulled up and basically started firing shots and ended up killing him. The passenger is currently in serious condition and is fighting for his life. When you got something happening like this to a person that's connected to such a viral moment like what went on between him and Funny Mike, people started pointing the fingers ASAP, dog. It really started going hard, saying stuff without any legit details, dog. Now, the police held a conference and stated they don't think that situation that went on last year was connected to the death of Chris P.
At this point, we have very, very little information, just the vehicle description I just released to you. It's, again, a silver SUV and a black four-door vehicle, but we have no other description on the suspects. 5.
This is really unusual for two vehicles to work in concert like that, to box somebody in?
Mm-hmm. Right. You know, based on the evidence that we have here, is obviously very intentional on these individuals were targeting the victims in this case. Again, the victim here, who has been identified as Christopher Polk, 25 years of age. It's our understanding that Mr. Polk had, again, recently performed at a establishment before this shooting.
So right now, y'all aren't ruling out connection to all that stuff on the internet?
Right. We don't really think that that has any ties to it, but we're not going to rule anything out because, again, the motive is still very unclear. So, again, we're looking at every angle and see what could be tied to this.
I'm gonna leave y'all with the full video of the conference. Once y'all get done watching, I need y'all to comment down below what do y'all think about this entire situation. My prayers go out to that boy Chris P family, man. Also, make sure y'all sub to the channel. I'm out of here, dog. Oddball, gone.
Leaving an establishment in the area of Loop 410 in Evers. When they got on the freeway on Loop 410 headed eastbound, a silver SUV pulled up alongside them, and a black four-door vehicle pulled in front of them and slowed down, and forcing the victim's vehicle to slow down. At that point, multiple gunshots were fired at the vehicle. At this point, we have very, very little information, just the vehicle description I just released to you. It's, again, a silver SUV and a black four-door vehicle, but we have no other description on the suspects. We can really use the public's help on this case. If anybody's seen anything, was in that area around this time, 2:30 in the area of Loop 410 and Callahan Road, we asked if they call Crime Stoppers at 224-STOP or call our homicide office at 207-7635.
This is really unusual for two vehicles to work in concert like that, to box somebody in.
Right. Based on the evidence that we have here, it was obviously very intentional on these individuals were targeting the victims in this case. Again, the victim here, who has been identified as Christopher Polk, 25 years of age. It's our understanding that Mr. Polk had, again, recently performed at a establishment before this shooting. Right now we don't have an exact clear motive, and so we're looking at every angle in this case. But again, we can use the public's help in trying to identify or any information that can lead us to the identification of the suspects in this case.
Do you know if the suspects were possibly at that concert or that establishment? Is there any evidence that...
That's something that we're looking into right now, but I can't confirm for sure if they were there or not. Yeah.
Were any of the, was anyone at the bar interviewed or asked?
That's a part of the investigation. Again, we develop information that was where the victim was coming from. So of course our homicide detectives are going to go over there and try and get as much information and see if it was possible that the suspects were there, see if we can develop any kind of motive, maybe some kind of disturbance happened at that location prior to the shooting. So all of that is part of the investigation.
The shooting happened on the access road or on the actual freeway?
It happened on the actual freeway. And when this shooting was taking place, the passenger had to gain control of the vehicle and pull it over into the shoulder.
Do we know the passengers?
We're not releasing that for safety reasons for that particular passenger, that particular victim. We're keeping that information to ourselves at this moment. But again, that victim was transported in serious condition to a local hospital.
Was he shot more than once?
That I can't release at this time, but I can confirm that victim was shot. Yeah.
And the deceased was shot multiple times?
The deceased was shot multiple times in the upper body.
And he was a driver?
He was the driver at the time, Mr.
And you
Polk.
said he had performed at that?
It's our understanding that he had performed at that establishment prior to being shot. Yeah.
You have the name of the establishment?
I do, but not releasing it at this time. Yeah.
Any idea what kind of gun it was?
No, we don't. We don't know what kind of gun it was. No.
Do we think it was more than one gun?
Yes.
And
Yes.
somewhere I thought I read that the sedan blocked them and the SUV fired, but did the people in the sedan also fire at them?
Right. So we have two vehicles involved, and the suspects were shooting from both of those vehicles at the victim's vehicle. All right.
So is this becoming something that, I know y'all are going to try to be in front of it, but is this something that Chief's worried about? Is it like an uptick in the gang and stuff?
Well, I can't say for sure for Chief. Chief is very much aware of this. And so, of course, he's working with the homicide supervisors and also our intelligence unit while we investigate this. And so he's following this case. Yeah.
So right now y'all aren't ruling out connection to all that stuff on the internet?
Right. We don't really think that has any ties to it, but we're not going to rule anything out because, again, the motive is still very unclear. So, again, we're looking at every angle and see what could be tied to this case.
All right.
You said it's a Crime Stoppers case and you want tips to go to the Crime Stoppers line, but is it the usual Crime Stoppers up to $5,000 because it's a felony?
That's correct. This is a felony offense, and any felony offense qualifies for that up to $5,000 reward for Crime Stoppers. So, again, if anybody has information, you can remain anonymous. Call that number. Give us any information, no matter how insignificant you may think it is. It may help us in this case, so we encourage you to call.
And is this going to be treated as a capital case because there were two people shot? One dead, one shot?
This is not. This will not, unless the second victim passes away. This will not be considered a capital murder case. So right now it's a homicide case.
And that second
murder
victim is in stable condition, critical?
Just last I checked, serious condition. Yeah. All right. Thank you. I can.
Yeah, our whip, we're like, ask him if it's connected. It's like, oh man, y'all get out of here and ask him that.
Weird deal, man.
Yeah. Very.